We are recapping the political year of 2019 with winners and losers. We move to the state level now, and Karen, we'll start with you since we started with Don in the first block. Your political winner at the state level.
Well, I went with Billy. I think our governor survived a pretty contentious race to get to that office, and he did it by being quiet in the background, and I think his first year he's done that too. I do think, though, he's going to find that in the year to come, he's going to have to be more visible. He's going to have to be more vocal and more distinct in being out as a leader to really accomplish the agenda.
Billy, your winner on the state level.
I'm going to say the University of Tennessee. I like to go back when we do these shows at the end of the year and see what we've done before.
Yes.
2 years ago, UT was the loser statewide. Because of that fiasco when the legislature did not confirm the trustees. This year in Florida, when the little boy was bullied and somebody at the university had the good judgment to offer him a full scholarship, the university got more free publicity than at any time since the national championship 20 years ago. It was a good year.
Sold 1 million shirts.
Yes. Exactly.
21 years ago, Billy, it hurts.
All right, Susan, your winner at the state
Well,
level.
I had two. One, I think Cameron Sexton clearly is going, winning the speaker. But my winner in the statewide is Randy Boyd. I mean, there's the guy that thought he wanted to be governor, lost governor, and landed on the best job in the state of Tennessee, as far as I'm concerned, president of the University of Tennessee. He's doing a great job, and all of us hope that he stays, and he sounds now like he's at least considering that.
He definitely has said on this program in an interview that he'd like the job. Let's just, for our viewers who have been hearing this, it's up to the trustees. When might they say, Randy Boyd is our person?
I think when Randy says it's time.
And the governor agrees.
And the governor agrees.
Tell everybody to tune in next week for our 2020 show.
Okay. There's a free plug right there. Thank you, Don. Your winner at the state level.
I'm going to pick issues, and I was, well, obviously I'm a Democrat, I was exceptionally pleased with Governor Lee's decision to permit refugees to relocate and settle here. That was
To
something
continue. That was something
continue.
Governor Haslam.
And he's going to see some blowback in the next legislative session over that. And as Karen suggested earlier, he's going to have to show some political chops. But I was very pleased that we, at least for a change, and unfortunately we've lost it to a degree in this state, can demonstrate some humanity and show that on a statewide level. And I'm glad that our governor stepped up and did that.
All right, let's stick with you and talk about the political loser at the state level.
Well, if I can get my screen to go back right to where I
your
want
technology.
it. My high technology.
I have paper.
I know, my scribbles. So, rural health care. And Karen can speak to this probably far better than I can, but even more so than urban area hospitals and doctors and health care. I mean, when I look at counties like Scott County, and there are 3 general practitioners in the entire county, and hospitals closing, seeming every month, care is becoming very sparse, very difficult, unaffordable, and we have a crisis here, and we need to step up and we need to work with the federal government. We need to do some things, both statewide and federal-wide, to provide better medical care for our citizens.
Before we move to you, Susan, I want to pick up on Karen, because you are a longtime nurse. And what are you hearing from your colleagues in the nursing corps about what Don just said?
Well, what we're seeing is that, again, closures, here at Children's, we frequently, I can't tell you the number of kids that I see from the Johnson City, Bristol area, and it's due to consolidations and closing, things that just can't get approved that kids need. And there are families that, when you look at just preventative health care, just not available in the area. So I think we truly are at a point where there have to be some decisions made.
All right, Susan, you're a political loser at the state level.
Well, this is a man who grew up in Knoxville, played basketball at the University of Tennessee, named Steve Gill. Steve's a very conservative, family values guy. He's a radio talk show host in Nashville, and he got arrested for owing $170,000 for child support, and actually went to jail. And I like Steve, but do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to talk about family values, then
Walk
pay
the
your
walk.
child support.
All right. Billy?
This issue does not affect any of us here in East Tennessee, but I think the Tennessee farmers were one of the losers this year. They sold 300 million fewer bushels of soybeans than they did last year.
300 million.
300 million. That will not affect anybody in the Knoxville area, but it is a gut punch to little rural counties in West Tennessee. And it's because of the China trade
The tariffs.
disagreement. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it is.
Karen?
I went with the obvious. Former Speaker of the House. I just think that the whole year, as we look at things, you know, ghost employees, his chief of staff, and then even just the vote for ESA, just the whole thing was a huge disappointment.
Billy, I want to lean on your expertise in this last minute. Susan, you feel free to weigh in because you have both worked for state government before. How do you put Glenn Cassida's political fall in perspective compared to others in the state?
This one is really historic. Glenn Cassida will always be a textbook example of someone who knew how to achieve power but didn't know how to use power. He lost power within 6 months, which is just, it would
Lightspeed
be
in
my
Nashville.
loser of the decade, not of the year.
Well, he didn't go to prison, Billy, so.
No, that's
Susan,
true.
your
Yeah, no, I agree with that. He did have all the support of the General Assembly and the Republicans, and just blew it. And you know, a lot of it now, and we talk about this when I was hanging around down the legislature, you didn't have a smartphone. Well, they do now, and unfortunately, those smartphones can videotape, they can take photos, they can text.
You get good pictures
and you
of
get
dumb
caught.
people.
Yeah, absolutely. And they need to realize that you're going to get caught if you do dumb things.
We've got to take another quick break. Back with this panel's political winner and political loser at the national level right after this.